Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day. And welcome to a theory video about the end of Karamelle. Now, obviously, some spoilers are going to be had. We're going to be using everything that we encountered during our 9-hour walkthrough of Karamelle on Wednesday to predict how Karamelle is gonna end. Now, if you guys don't know, Karamelle actually ended in a spoiler wall. So what that basically means is that if you're basically as far as you can go in Test Realm, they actually don't reveal the very end of it. And what they do leave as a mystery is basically the cavities that have been appearing all over Karamelle throughout your quest line. They've been appearing in factories, they've been appearing in the middle of nowhere, they even appear at the very end of Karamelle, and Nana and the Cabal that she's accompanied with disappear into it for the final battle. Now, obviously there are many theories as to how Karamelle could end, but I thought I'd focus on what's actually causing the cavities, because it's heavily implied that you go into a cavity for your very final fight. So basically, the cavity ties together the entire end of the story, so it becomes really important to know what it is. So today I thought I would explore the three different possibilities of the cavities and what they could mean for the third arc of Wizard101 based on everything we know from Karamelle. Now, the first theory is that this is actually something that is being caused by the Cabal. Now, you might recall how at the beginning of Karamelle, basically what they did was they had a meeting, like a summit, for all the Cabal members to get together. So that's where Malvarf von Trapp, the musicology professor, brought us to Karamelle for the first place. That's why we were there. When we were there, it was really weird because right as we were about to, like, you know, shake hands and make up with the Cabal, a cavity shows up out of nowhere and it sucks up the leader of the Cabal into a hole, into who knows where. So the leader is called the Old One, and this is who we're introduced to at the very beginning of Karamelle. And he disappears right in very immediately. Now, my first theory is that this cavity, or whatever it is caused by the Cabal, and the Old One basically had it suck him up as a ruse so that we wouldn't suspect him of causing any problems going forward. Now, a little bit of a history on the actual Cabal. What their goal was, and I suspect that it's tied to this door somewhat because of, you know, the Cabal sides and everything. Their goal was to basically return everything to how it was in the first world. That's what the Cabal wanted to do. So they try to help Old Cobb because in Mirage, he wanted to turn back time to when they were in the first world. They also, in Polaris, wanted to unanchor the Borealis Sky Peak. And by doing that, they basically were, I assume they were trying to break apart the world and fragment it and cause chaos and increase the odds of maybe returning it to the first world. I think in Imperia even, what they really wanted was to cause a conflict between two great beings and essentially make it so that there would be, you know, some sort of intergalactic conflict where they would be the only survivors so that they could start over. Basically, they have a problem with how the world works. Now, the wizard foiled that plan, but that doesn't change the fact that the Cabal and everyone that's associated with it probably does have a problem with how the spiral works. And if we're looking at something like Karamelle, we're looking at a world that is basically almost entirely determined by gluttony. So my first theory is that the Cabal, because we foiled their plans, maybe they're gonna try to eliminate worlds that essentially commit the sins that they are not, you know, that they don't vibe with, you know? So Karamelle could be, you know, related to the sin of gluttony with food, but who knows what other worlds we might get. We might see worlds that are associated with greed. We might have a world where, you know, the main defining sin of that world is envy. Maybe it's wrath, maybe it's pride. So what this could be is a Cabal's way of really on the DL trying to tear apart a world that they think doesn't work. Now, there are many reasons why I feel that this could be it. One thing that I found very, very interesting was the battle with Judge Veg. Now, what Judge Veg was basically talking about in his entire, like, character arc was the idea that Karamelle shouldn't exist because everyone is lazy and gluttonous. That's essentially why he had such an issue with it. And he basically judged that world to be unworthy of continuing, and that's basically why we fought him, because we were basically teaming up with the Gobblers. He didn't like that. So who knows? Maybe the Old One also agrees with that, and maybe instead of returning, you know, everything to the first world, maybe they're just trying to eliminate all the things that they see wrong with the world. This is also a very far-fetched theory, because there's very few things that support this, but it is a possibility, and that's why that's only one of 3 theories in this video. Now, the second theory relates to the musicology professor, Malvarf von Trapp. I believe that it's very possible that he's the one causing all the cavities. Like, seriously. He literally caused an explosion in his own classroom. So we know, based on this alone, that there's a very real possibility that he's actually, like, a destructive force in the spiral. What other proof is there? There's the fact that he's always around the cavities whenever they appear. He's in the same town when the cavity in the factory appears. He's in the mines when a cavity appears in the mines. He's even at the end with the wizard when a cavity sucks up Nana and the Cabal for the final battle. He has proven to not be trustworthy because, one, the word Von Trapp is in his name, and literally at the beginning of Karamelle, he sets up a trap for us, and we go into the trap, and somehow we're still supposed to trust him. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Yeah, there's nothing trustworthy, in my opinion, about Malwarth. He's given us no reason to trust him. Not to mention, he spends the entirety of Karamelle basically putting the sauce on Judge Veg, on Cat Lady, on the Chicken Dude, all the Cabal members for sucking up the old one. This is a very easy strategy to use if you're the one who sucked up the old one. Now, why exactly would he create a cavity that could suck up the old one? I genuinely think we should just use his name to infer what it is. It's probably one gigantic trap. And the trap is that he wants us to go into the cavity where for some reason or another, the Cabal is more powerful. Maybe they've just set up something. Maybe all they want to do is lure us into this place where we'll be defeated and we won't be able to escape. He's also literally the one who pushes us into jumping into the cavity to begin with. So I feel like all of this could just be him gaining our trust and then basically double-crossing us for the Cabal to get us out of the equation so that they can fulfill whatever, you know, whatever thing they want to do for the spiral, whatever garbage, you know, first world, whatever they want to do. If we're out of the equation, their job is a lot easier. My final theory is definitely the most, like, out of the box, but I have a feeling that it's almost certainly the most right. Now, again, I could be very wrong. They could just follow the cookie cutter. Basically, there's an old one, bad guy, and he's causing us to go into a trap, and we face him in a final battle. I think that's way too simple for King's Isle, though. If you guys recall, at the end of Imperia Part 2, Cybele tells us, the wizard, that we have nothing to fear. Now, this raised a lot of questions back in the day. You saw me put out videos talking about what is this nothing. Now, the reason why everyone freaked out over this is because nothing was capitalized, meaning nothing is not just the word nothing. It's a force, maybe, or it's an object, or it's an actual, like, you know, it's a person, maybe, who knows. But I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that cavities appearing out of, like, all over the place suddenly, you know, come after we've been warned about nothing. A cavity is literally defined as nothing, right? A cavity is an absence. So it would make a lot of sense to me for Cybele's warning about the cavities to relate to this nothing. But I have a feeling that Cybele's warning had a double meaning, meaning that the wizard, us, had nothing to fear because we were the nothing. And if that seems weird, I think it relates to the fact that our wizard is very, very different from every other wizard in the history of the spiral. If you guys remember, at the end of Imperia Part 2, we actually have to become one with the shadow. We literally have to become, like, part shadow, part light. We imbue ourselves in shadow magic in a way no other wizard has. The only other wizard in the plotline that came even close is Morganthe, and she could not control the power. So could it be that the wizard, by becoming one with the shadow, is maybe causing all of these cavities to appear out of everywhere? Shadows are also, if you really think about it, they don't really exist, right? They're just an absence of light. Now, why do I think our wizard's involved? There's only one real piece of evidence to suggest that. And I do think that this dialogue right here really does prove something. The dialogue that you see on the screen happens when we go and come upon a cavity, and Greta, our companion, doesn't hear anything in the cavity. It's only us that's able to hear something from the cavity. That means that there's something relating to the wizard that is connected to the cavity. Whether it's because the person who creates the cavity has something in relation to the wizard, or if the wizard ourselves is creating the cavity because we can't control shadow magic. What this could mean, and this would be a really cool concept, it could mean that we are what's about to cause the end of the spiral. And you know what? I find that idea very provocative because I don't think that there exists in the spiral any force that can create more destruction than us, because we've already defeated Grandfather Spider. We've already defeated Grandmother Raven. We've defeated their children. We've defeated the Titans. There is no mythology that has power that we as a wizard haven't defeated. So maybe it raises a question of whether we've become too powerful. We're also not from the spiral. Maybe our existence within the spiral is incompatible with it somehow. What are we doing as a member that's not even from the spiral of, you know, that's here learning all this magic? Maybe this is the opportunity that we've all been waiting for to learn more about the wizard's past. I think what this plotline, this theory really reminds me of is Harry Potter, who becomes, this is also a Harry Potter spoiler. I don't know why you wouldn't know this by now, but he's a Horcrux of Voldemort. And because of this, he actually can speak parcel tongue. Like, he can speak to snakes as a result of this. What if, because of the shadow magic that we were never intended to have, because of this, we have some kind of connection to this cavity, or maybe we're even causing it. Maybe we have become so powerful that the very spiral is at stake. I hope you guys enjoyed these theories. I try to tie together all the work that we did on Wednesday going through the world of Karamelle, along with all the things we've learned about the wizard in general, to make all these theories. Either way, the spoiler wall will lift very soon and we'll find the answers. I'm sure we'll know something or another about these cavities. I have a feeling it's one of these three for sure, and I think the last one is the most likely. As always, these videos work when you guys share your theories, so let me know what your theory about the cavities are in the comments below. I'd love to hear all the theories. Let me know if you want me to speculate about more things, more theories. I would love to do these. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description, including my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, my Instagram, and of course my Patreon. And as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong, so stay awesome. And yeah, y'all.